When you hear the word Pakistan, what comes to your mind? For different people, it means different things. Some associate it with the war on terror, which was launched after the 9/11 attacks. Some associate it with news they remember related to religious extremism or terrorism. Some associate it with the news of animosity which exists between Pakistan and its neighbor India, two nuclear armed states. Some associate it with the rule of army and generals. Very few associate it with positive things like delicious food, Pakistanis having been champions of squash, hockey, and cricket, or with its educated diaspora that exists internationally. And then there are some who would say, who wants, who cares about Pakistan? Who wants to think about it? How does it matter? It's just one of the most dangerous country in the world. Another hellhole from the third world. So it's better not to think of it, just avoid it like the plague. But that is exactly the point. How can a country which is one of the most populous Muslim nations in the world, second only to Indonesia, maybe the fifth or sixth most populous countries country of the world, possessing nuclear arms, existing in a world where the Muslim world seems to be in an uproar against the actions of Israel, which are supported by the US, the lukewarm reaction from European countries. How can such a country be ignored and not be looked at? But when the world starts looking at Pakistan, it finds out that it is not an antagonistic country, for example, like Iran. It is not a kingdom like the Arab kingdoms, or it is not a country where dictators have ruled the roost like personal fiefdoms, decade after decade. When the world starts looking at Pakistan, it finds out that it is not an antagonistic country on the international theater, despite the impression it gives of having religious extremism or of chaos. They find out it seems to have a constitution and democracy which has repeatedly defeated military rules. So, when the world scratches the surface, they find a country full of vibrant people living in a beautiful land. And then there are the Pakistanis themselves. How do they look at themselves? They came out of British India, and although historically the creation of Pakistan has been proven right with the rise of Hindutva in what is now India, Pakistanis loathe being associated with being identified as Indians when the world thinks that they are just Indians, they separated just because of religion. So, how do Pakistanis look at themselves? They soak themselves with Indian movies, Indian songs. But on the other hand, they seem to be spending their entire lives trying to prove to the world that they are not Indians. If there are any people in the world who Pakistanis are most similar to, it is the Indians, at least the North Indians. But they loathe being called Indian or being identified as Indians. They came out of British India. At one time, they were all living together in that. political, politically constituted country. So it seems sometimes as if they are running away from their own shadow. They cannot think of a reason being Pakistani other than being not Indian. So why is it like that? And what has thinking like that done to them internally? I am Imran Khalid Usman. I was born and bred in Pakistan, and I have spent my entire life looking at this story, how the world looks at my country, and how my compatriots look at themselves. And after a lifetime of activism in my younger days and constant observation of and reflection on this story, I came to the conclusion that both the world as well as my compatriots are missing out on a great opportunity. I believe that if this deception of perspectives is overcome and defeated, both my country has a chance to thrive and prosper, and the world can be gifted with the victory of progressive and liberal mindset in the Muslim imagination globally. It is these kind of matters that I bring forth in my book, Culprits in the Mind, and have tried to address them from socio psychological angles. I believe if you get hooked on to this book from that angle, you will find many truths in that book which you may have thought about but did not give them words, or you may not even have thought about them or not considered them important enough to give them words. But I believe there are certain undercurrents, little things, which are often overlooked, which provide us with answers for us to love each other more as humans and make the world a better place. This book is not just for Pakistanis or about Pakistanis. It is a book for everyone who reflects or thinks about a world in which almost a quarter of the population is Muslim, and there are forces in this world who want the rest of the world and this quarter to fight each other, to hate and not love each other. That's why I think my book can provide some directions, some ways of thinking to reflect upon such issues for the world and for my compatriots to reflect upon the way they have carried themselves so far and how to go forward. I hope that you will buy, and once you start reading it, you will enjoy my book.